And a good afternoon to everybody. We've got a nice full group here this afternoon. We're starting a couple of minutes late because we've just been chatting away here, and our social hour has been a lot of fun. We've changed some ideas and looked at some of the settings and talked and so on. But anyway, this is the Central Florida Computer Society. I'm Huey Poplock, and this is the Windows Special Interest Group, or WinSIG, for Sunday, April 12th, 2020. And since we're in a quarantine atmosphere, we're all at our individual homes, there is no meeting of CFCS being held in one big room. We're all online, and we have a nice crowd online. So I've got a full slate of items to cover. And so I am going to minimize this. Let's see, I do this. And I want to bring up, let's see. And I need to go to my CFCS WinSIG. I've got 10 items here, plus I got a couple of little mini presentations to do. So let's look at my list, and we have to do that from Huey.net. This is how you get to the website. If you haven't been there before, you go to Huey.net, then go to WinSIG, go to the year of the meeting that you want to look at, find the month. And I usually post these a few days in advance, so you can always go, but like this morning, I added one to it. And these are the items that we're going to cover today. And you'll notice on the right, if you want someone to join us, or you're not getting my Windows SIG newsletter, please sign up on the side of the page, and to subscribe, it puts you in MailChimp, which is well protected and is a place where you can unsubscribe at any time. So let's start out with the first item, which is new to Windows 10. Check out Simply Windows videos to get up to speed. So let's take a look at that. And find it here. And are you going to work? There we go. New to Windows 10, or if you're not, it's still this. There's some really neat Windows 10 videos to get you up to speed or to get you caught up with some things. The first 5 episodes are now available on a playlist, and if you click that, you'll get the whole playlist. And there's going to be more in the coming weeks. I looked at a couple of them, and they are very well done. They're very short, to the point. So head over to the Windows YouTube channel. Let's go there. And we'll play one of them. And I think what I didn't do, I better make sure I am sharing the sound. Mute. Share computer sound will do that. And actually what I'm going to do is, come on, one more thing. I optimize share for full screen video clip. And okay, it was this one I looked at this morning, was it?
I'm Doug. I'm a writer at Microsoft. Like many of you, I'm working from home. So I can't work with my friends and colleagues right down the hall and say, hey, yeah, I got a problem. Can you take a look at this? Or I can't go help them physically. But we can do that. It's with a tool called Quick Assist, and all Windows 10 PCs have it. It uses the same technology a support person might use when they're working with you on a problem and they like take over your computer and help you find it. But you can do it on a more personal level. Anybody who has Windows 10 has Quick Assist. So when my dad has a problem with his computer, I fire up Quick Assist, he fires up Quick Assist, and we get the problem done. So it can work down the hall or halfway around the world or the two computers I have right here. Let me show you Quick Assist. First, let's search and open Quick Assist. You can get assistance or you can give assistance. I'm going to give assistance. And normally I'd be talking to the person on a speakerphone at this time. I'll tap Assist Another Person and I'll get a security code with an expiration time. So I'll just relay this to the person I'm helping and then they can input the code at their end. Now, the second computer I'm going to work on is right here next to me. So let me get on that computer. And I have Quick Assistance open. And here, though, I'm going to tap Get Assistance and plug that code in that I have. And then tap Share Screen. There are safeguards here. No one can take over your PC without you granting permission. But once the two screens are linked, I have two options here. I can take full control or I can just view the screen. Usually I want to take control, so I'll hit continue. And the other party will accept this, allowing this Doug T character to take over his computer. I trust him. So now I can see and interact with their PC. There are some controls here at the top you may need if you're dealing with multiple monitors or you just want to adjust the size of the image that you're seeing on your screen. Or you can do chat basically. So this way, if you're not communicating by phone or text, you can chat right here in the window and the other person will see it on the other side and you can interact and chat. So let's clear that off really quick. I don't really need that right now. So I'm working on their PC. I can go over here and show them something maybe in the Action Center, or I can open up a browser. We can start surfing the web. I can start, inputting stuff for them. If there's some problem they have at a website, I can help them out. Anything you want to do with their computer, you can do this using Quick Assist. If you need to, you can even use annotations from time to time. It might be if someone's like not figuring out what you're doing, you can point to something there like, here's the start button, and they'll see that annotation on their screen. And we'll just erase that. Either one can turn it off at any time. Just select stop and the Quick Assist session ends. So, any PC that has Windows 10 has Quick Assist. Have you used Quick Assist? Love to know your tips if you have any. Put them in the comments below. Also, if there's any videos you want to see from Simply Windows, we'd love to see those comments too. And remember to share this video for anyone you think who would appreciate it. Maybe somebody who can give you some help. Bye.
Huey, that video is quite blurry.
Okay, and I did have it. I did change it to share computer, optimize share for full screen video clip.
I know, and I can't even see that. It's so blurred. Now it came back and it's better.
Right, now I turned that off.
Yeah.
So the video should have been clear.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I had the same problem last week with our show. And
we had that problem when we first started doing the VLC. And they said that unless everybody's in full screen of the video, I mean, it's really messed up. So if you just leave that box unchecked, it looks just fine.
Okay. All right, because I went in and changed it on the fly, so best just leave it alone then.
Yeah. Mostly what that is if you've got a small video that's maybe 360 and you want to play it full screen, that boost it up a little bit, but mostly.
oh, okay, so you leave it unchecked.
I've noticed on some videos they become out of sync, and if you have that on, it gives a better quality and it stays in sync better. So we'll have to play around more with that. Okay, as you can see, it was a pretty good video though. And there are several of them. They started out with 5, and I think they've got a few more they've added to it. But it's from Microsoft directly, and there are some pretty good. You know, I've never used that Windows Assist. I've always used something like TeamViewer, and I haven't used that in quite a while. So
I have. It works very well.
yeah, TeamViewer, absolutely. But the Windows has something built in that you could always use too if people are afraid. Some people are afraid to install a new program, or they don't know quite how to do it on their end.
That's
Although
the tool I use, is the one built into Windows.
Oh, okay. All right, the next item on here is Windows 10 new features list. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. Let's see. Let's get out of this. And Windows 10 new features list. So it's this one. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because they're not out yet. But sometime either this month, April, or next month in May, we're probably going to have the next update to Windows. And you don't have anybody to take it to now. The Windows store is closed. If you have one locally or something, let's hope it works well and they've well tested it. Some places it's going to be 2004, which means it's from 2020 and it's the April version. Other places you're going to see it referred to as 20H1, which is the first quarter or first half, I'm sorry, of the year, because there's usually 2 a year. But sometime the next month or two, we are going to see this new version. And there's quite a few changes, actually. I heard that it wasn't going to be a lot, but it looks like there are quite a few. I'm going to quickly go through, because you can go back and look over this list, and it doesn't mean much until you can start going in and looking at it, and that's not going to happen until the upgrade takes place. But you've got the start menu. Let me just click this. It's going to look a little bit different. You just start typing to search, and then when you do, it's going to check the web, apps, and documents all at once. Virtual desktops is going to improve. I don't use it. I played around with it when it first came out, but I haven't played with it much. You can lock the screen. Cortana is changing quite a bit. If you have a 2-in-1 computer, or you have a Microsoft Surface that allows you to make it into a tablet, there's going to be some updates to improve how that works. The Task Manager is now updated to show detailed hardware information. It provides an option to monitor the GPU, your graphics card, temperature for graphics cards and the graphics chips. If your device has multiple hard drives, the Task Manager can now show the drive type, whether it's HD or SD. It's going to look something like this. There's going to be an update in recovery settings changes. Under the recovery option, you'll find now that you can reinstall or repair Windows from the cloud. Previously, you had only 2 options, either download an ISO file or create a bootable device to install a fresh Windows 10 on your system. There's going to be some changes in the Bluetooth and connected devices. Make it easier to connect. Text cursor settings. There's going to be, you can make the cursor colored and have it various colors, and some changes there. Notepad is going to be available on the Microsoft Store, so you can do updates through the Microsoft Store. I use Notepad quite a bit. If you don't, you are missing out on a really good text editor. You may be using another text editor, then you don't really need Notepad. Snip and Sketch, I use that quite a bit, and it of course has taken the place of the old snipping tool, and it works very well, and I use it quite often, even though I have Snagit, and I have it connected, so when it does this, it does the snip. and Sketch, it then opens up the editor of my Snagit, and I'm able to edit it within that afterwards. So I have the two of them working together. Microsoft Defender is going to be the new name of the Windows Defender, because Microsoft is planning to launch this security program for cross-platform devices, not just Windows. The Windows search improvement. Action Center and notifications will be changing. And there are going to be some settings changes and how it's, there are going to be several changes in the settings window. The header is updated with a new message, get even more out of Windows. And it contains options to set OneDrive, link your phone, and enable timeline and others. Sounds, to make it more usable, the app volume and device preferences in the sound settings is getting some minor interface changes. Your mouse, you're going to have the option to control the cursor speed right in the mouse settings. Earlier, you had to go into control panel to do that. Status window is also getting a minor upgrading. You'll be able to get a quick access to change the settings and fresh view of active connections. Some language settings, dictation support for more languages. The narrator settings for Windows also getting an update, getting updated with new settings to change how the capitalization text is read. Don't announce increase pitch and say cap under the change what you hear when recording and interacting section. You'll also find an option to allow experimental features using Outlook. Not quite sure what that means, but you'll find out once we are able to use it. The backup is getting some changes, and the troubleshooters. So, and then disk cleanup. So lots of new things coming later this month or next month. So if you're not using Windows 10, shame on you. If you're a Windows user, if you're still using Windows 7 and you're concerned about Zoom security, you better be concerned about computer security as well, and update either to Windows or get a new computer with Windows 10 on it, or possibly switch over to Linux or a Mac. Okay, now, do not share too much information. You'll notice there's no link to that. Why? Because it's something of mine. So let's go ahead and open it. Any questions so far from anybody? Would somebody kind of monitor the chat box? Because I'm sharing my screen and I don't see it easily. Everything seems to be okay, I guess. It looks like we lost one person. Okay, do not share too much information is what I'm calling this. Let's go ahead and start. I did some screen captures to make it easier to show them. I'm doing it with a PowerPoint, but it's not really a PowerPoint presentation. But be careful when sharing links. They may contain information about you. If you get an email that's got a link in it, don't just copy that link and pass it on to somebody, or don't forward that email without checking to see what information you're passing on. So my advice is you copy and paste it into an editor. Notepad is the one that's associated, that comes with Windows, but you may have another choice. Then edit it by removing the part of the link that starts at the question mark, and I'm going to demonstrate that with some screenshots here in just a second. Then copy it again and then paste the link. And then test the link before you share it to make sure it's working, so the other person doesn't come back and say, hey, that link you sent me doesn't work. But let's look what I'm talking about. Here is an example. I don't remember whether I got this from an email or it might have been, it looks like it was Facebook. But when I clicked on a website, on a link in Facebook, it took me to this long link. Now I've grayed out a little bit of it because there's private information in there. It may be about me, it may be about my Facebook account, or it may just be some information that the website wants to capture about where you're coming from or where you saw the information and so on. So what I do is I copy this whole address, paste it into Notepad, and then I start at the end, and I start removing it to the question mark. So it ends up, this is the length of that link. Then I copy this, just this, and then I paste that into whatever I'm going to be sending or posting. Same thing, here's another one. Again, I blocked out a little bit of it because, again, I don't know what information they're sharing here. But when I backed it up right up here to where the question mark was, copied that, then dropped it in. And when I click on it, it takes me to the same place, but all that information isn't going back to the owner of that website. So if you got an email and it's got a link in there, it's got information about you. It's telling the person that it was from a particular emailing that they did. You may be on a list, and it may even isolate it down to who you are. And so you don't want somebody else to be signing in using your information. And that's what they're doing when they, if they click on that big link. Also, be careful when forwarding an email. Many times, APCUG or your user group or somebody sends you out a constant contact or a MailChimp email, and it looks really pretty, and so all you do is you forward it to somebody. But instead of doing that, copy the email, paste it into a new email, and then you want to go back and delete any references to you. Now, what do I mean by that? At the bottom of this constant contact notice that went out to all of the Sarasota technology user group members, it says here, save unscribe, and it's got my address there. And so if I forwarded that constant contact email, it's got my information. So anybody could click on that and unsubscribe me. And it also tells who it's sent by, and maybe you don't want that information to go out. So what I usually do is I'll take this section right here and I'll delete it from the forwarded message, so that part is not part of the message that I forward to my friends. Let's take one from MailChimp. Again, this is what the bottom of the MailChimp reminder or the information about something is sent to us. And then notice at the bottom, it says you can update your preferences or unsubscribe from this list. That's going to, if you just copy and paste the whole MailChimp message, if somebody clicks on that, you get unsubscribed, not them. So you want to make sure you take this whole section and remove it from your forwarding. Any questions about that? It's something I don't think I've ever talked about before, and I don't remember seeing anybody else mentioning it, but it's something that I really try to control. And there's some chat messages here in it. Let's see. Chat, let's see what they say. Okay, David said about the fuzziness. Okay, I'm in full screen. Okay. Question mark. From the question mark to the end of the link is the subject matter and the routing information. Yeah, but sometimes it's also information about you. Because if you're a subscriber, that information could be in there as well. So just be very careful. It's best to just to go ahead and remove it from the forwarding and just keep it clear. All right. And Bob said true. And close that. Okay, go to the next item, SpaceX. So let me come back here. And this one, I guess, the one I want. I've been talking in several of my presentations, especially the ones dealing with cutting the cord, about the three companies that are talking about LEOs, low Earth orbiting satellites. SpaceX is one, Amazon is one, and OneWeb was the other. But it appears that OneWeb is bankrupt. So SpaceX competitor OneWeb is reportedly bankrupt. The company planned to put 650 internet satellites into orbit. It only managed to launch 74, and its money ran dry. They were being backed by SoftBank, and apparently SoftBank has decided no longer to participate. So, so OneWeb appears to be going away. So that leaves us, let's see, founded in 2012. OneWeb was one of the handful of companies, including SpaceX and Amazon, Jeff Bezos, that are racing to build giant constellations of high-speed internet satellites. OneWeb planned to operate a fleet of at least 650 satellites to blanket the Earth with broadband service, and had raised nearly $3.5 billion from large investors like the Virgin Group, Qualcomm, Airbus, and also SoftBank. They were going to offer regional satellite internet service by the end of the year and roll out global coverage shortly after. But apparently their money is run dry and they are going into bankruptcy. So that leaves two. And so if you want to read the rest of that article, you can. Then the other article is right here.
He makes you wonder what happens to those 74 satellites. They
They're
just leave them there.
Probably somebody, I don't know. I doubt very much. Like SpaceX could buy them and then use them because it's probably different technology. I have no idea. Or they can try to bring them down. When they bring them down, of course, most of it burns up on the way down, and then there's some space junk. Hopefully it comes down and doesn't hit us on the head. SpaceX launches a new batch of Starlink satellites. This article is probably the most recent one. They just put up another batch. They're putting them up 60 at a time. And Starlink now has more than 350 of them up there. They have been testing them. The current launch scheduled includes 3 more Starlink launches this year, adding 180 more satellites. However, just one more launch could get SpaceX to where it needs to begin offering limited customer service. Elon Musk, of course, is SpaceX, and he previously indicated it would take between 400 and 800 satellites. More people than ever need reliable internet connections at home to continue working and learning as authorities continue to recommend social distancing to combat the coronavirus. This would be a good time for SpaceX to bring its Starlink network online, but there's no guarantee SpaceX will do so even after it reaches the minimum threshold of 400 nodes. Without a fully developed network, Starlink could suffer from the latency issues that have made traditional satellite internet systems undesirable. So back to that, and then there's something about another booster and so on about SpaceX. But we should see sometime this year Starlink going live. And there has not been a mention yet of how much it's going to cost, but they are saying it's going to be reasonable. It's going to be faster than most other sources, even though it's coming from satellites. And it's going to be interesting. And then, of course, Jeff Bezos, Amazon has theirs, and it's called, I can't remember what they call theirs. But anyway, they also have a bunch of satellites up there. They're going to put a lot more in there. They're putting up, I believe, over 4,000 satellites as well. And it will be a different service. So there's going to be lots of things up in the sky to help us get online quicker and easier and hopefully faster. I've got 3 articles here about Microsoft Editor, and one of them I just got today, and I thank you, Ron, for sending it. I did post it on there, but I didn't have a chance to. I read it quickly, but did not have a chance to digest it. But I also put together something for last month's Tech for Seniors, which I'll probably do tomorrow as well. But let's see if I can find. I got to move something out of the way here to do this. Whoops, not what I want to do. Here. This started out, was going to, we asked for some questions and answers for the Tech for Seniors. And Jerry sent one that said, please explain spell check's behavior in Gmail on Chromebooks. It appears that when a spelling error occurs, spell check will autocorrect some words and insert dots beneath that word to advise correction. But at other times, it simply inserts a squiggly red line underneath, makes no corrections, and has no suggestions to correct the word. What does the advanced spell check do for me? So, of course, I've got to get myself a throat lozenge here. I'm drying. Hang on one second. So this is what he's talking about. I put in a message in Gmail, and I misspelled misspellings on purpose, and I misspelled received. It auto-corrected received to put the I after the E, because if you remember, I before E except after C. That's what I learned about in school many years ago. What I did notice, it does put the dots underneath, and that means it auto-corrected that. But if you're a touch typist and you don't watch the screen, after about a word or two, that goes away. Those dots aren't there anymore, and the correction has already been done, so you may not even realize it auto-corrected it. If it doesn't auto-correct, what you have to do is you have to right-click it, and it'll show you possible correct spelling for that. Here's how you turn on the advanced. There's a basic spell check, and you can turn that on or off. Then there's the basic spell check or the enhanced spell check. All the enhanced spell check does, it uses the same spell checker that's used in Google search. You text you type in the browser, it then is sent to Google, and it helps find the meaning or the spelling to it. So the enhanced only makes it broader to try to find another word or the correct spelling or explain what the spelling's supposed to be. Doesn't do a whole bunch. Now, you can add and edit custom spellings. You can add words. This is from from the website MUO. I'm trying to think what it stands for, and off the top of my head, I don't remember. A little CRS. Anyway, you can add and edit custom spellings by selecting the respective option in the list below. You can add a new word. You can add a word. You can add custom words. You can also enable the enhanced spell checker, which will recognize other errors like a missing space or hyphen. And so you can go in and check those. I've been using Grammarly. It's free. There is a paid version, does a lot more. But I've been using the free version, and I've been real happy with it. So typing the same thing, this is what it looks like in Grammarly. And as I put my mouse over each one of the red lines, okay, if I put it over test, it says, okay, add an article. It should be a test or the test. And if I click on one of these, it'll put the word there for me. Then I go to the next one. For misspellings, it shows me, okay, either add it to the dictionary or just click the green one and it will change the spelling for me and give me the correct spelling. And then received, it doesn't autocorrect, but it tells me what the word is supposed to be, and I just click it and it changes it for me. Well, that's Grammarly. This week, Microsoft announced something called Microsoft Editor. It's not really being released until April 21st, which is a couple of more weeks. A couple more weeks? What's today's date? 12? About 10 days. Yeah, about 2 weeks. It's going to be called Microsoft Editor, and it's Microsoft's Grammarly killer. Microsoft's Editor is now available to download for Chrome and Edge, but it doesn't work right. It doesn't work well yet. And then I notice sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But it's not scheduled to actually be part and be part of an update until the 21st of this month. So last week, Microsoft announced a new service called Microsoft Editor, an AI-powered writing assistant that takes on Grammarly. Microsoft Editor helps you write with confidence in 20+ languages. Since it's a browser add-on, it'll help you whenever you're in when you're writing from emails to posting your story on Facebook. It has 2 different tiers. The free edition will include basic features such as spelling and basic grammar across Word, Outlook.com, and the web. But the Microsoft 365 Personal and Family subscription, notice it says Microsoft. I'm going to talk about that. It's if you have Office 365 is what they're saying. You can have advanced grammar and style refinements such as clarity, concisiveness, formal language, vocabulary suggestions, and much more. Somehow, that showed up on a couple of instances when I was writing something. I didn't do a screen capture and I can't recreate it. So I don't know if it was part of a test that was turned on and then got turned off or what, but it's coming and it looked pretty good. But I do own the Office 365 paid subscription. Okay, this is the little mark that shows that I have installed the editor for the Microsoft Editor. And it's not, it's grayed out, so I don't have it turned on. Once I turned it on, then it's going to look like this. So when I click on it, it says Microsoft Editor. To get spelling, grammar, and refinement suggestions on most websites, sign in. You have to sign in with your Microsoft account. Now, if you don't have an Office 365 account, if you've got a Microsoft account, it still will work for you. It's just the free version. Here are some things that you can turn on or off: the spelling, the grammar, or refinements. You can turn all of them off if you want. You can turn some on, some off. And you can also disable it. And again, this is what it looks like. There's the proofing language, so you can proof it in whatever language you want. There's privacy options, automatically send the data to help improve their product. So you're sending something back to Microsoft, you can shut that off. And then you can exclude some sites if you don't want those sites to use the editor. So again, this is what Microsoft Editor looks like. I typed in a small I here, so it shows either a large I where I should have an A or if, and when I click on it, it changes it. Same thing with mistake. It gives me some other possibilities. It says error, confound, misunderstand. So it gave me some other choices if I don't want the word mistake, but it does tell me what the correct is. So if I click that, it will change it up here in the message in Gmail. Try adding a question mark to this. So here at the end, I didn't have a question mark, and it's saying that's what I want. So if I click on that, it'll put the question mark there. Any questions on that or comments?
I've been using it since you announced this will be coming.
Yeah, and I think once it is out there, and if you're an Office 365 user, you're going to get. I noticed it came in and it gave me. I put in something and I forgot what term I used, but it was. It gave me a word that meant the same thing and made it sound a little bit better. So I think we'll find that there may be some uses for it.
Huey, did it
Yes.
work? You said it worked in Gmail?
If you're doing the Gmail through your browser.
It did it. Okay.
Yes.
Because I couldn't get it. I just didn't. It wouldn't work for me.
Do you have it turned on?
I did. I turned it off, but I did have it on, and it wouldn't work in Gmail. But
Do you have
Only
Grammarly?
browser for
And do you
me.
have it on?
I do. I turned Grammarly off, and I turned the editor on, and it wouldn't work on the web version of Gmail. I'll have to try it again.
You're using Chrome as your browser, correct?
Yep. Yep.
And it's the most up to date was version 81.
Yep.
I don't know. You might get out of it and come back in once you turn it on and see what happens.
Okay.
What did the icon up at the top go from gray to green to blue?
No.
Then it wasn't on.
There's nothing you have to set in the parameter. Like when I installed it, there's nothing that I have Office 365 as well. So there was no other link that you had to go into to turn it on.
You do have to sign into your account, but it still should work without doing that.
Yeah.
But you have to sign into some account. You do have to sign into a Microsoft account to make it work.
Okay.
Okay, is there any other questions? Nope. All right. How are we doing for time? We're doing good. Somebody was talking about movie programs. Whoops. Yeah, that's. I just clicked on the wrong thing here, so let me close that. I probably should have gone there anyway, but let's minimize this and find it here. I found this article. It said, "Do you miss Windows Movie Maker?" Which was a very nice little program to use. Try this free cross-platform video editor, and this was from Gizmo's Freeware. And it's a free cross-platform video editor suitable for beginning and advanced video editing with a raft of features for audio, video editing, and display. It's a good alternative for Windows Movie Maker. It has a large, impressive list of features, 4K resolution support. You can read through these. I'm not going to read them all to you. And if you don't do video editing, most of this doesn't make any sense to you anyway. And according to this article, it says if you're like me, you're new to video editing, Shotcut, and that's the name of it, has tutorials on their YouTube channel and a list of royalty-free media on their resources page. So I went and I watched one or two of their videos, and then I brought it up, and it does look something like this, and it looks complicated. And when I went, I took a video and I dropped it into it, and it should have shown a timeline of the video and the audio, and the audio wasn't showing. And I started watching the videos to the tutorials and couldn't figure out why. And I had to stretch some boxes out. I had to play with it quite a bit just to get it to a default position. By the way, that's not a very clear picture if you're trying to adjust it. It's not a high resolution picture. And I do have it installed on here. And I played with it just a little bit. It's not easy. I tried a different one that I even own from, let's see, what is it? Let me get out of this. From AVS4U. And I don't know if you're familiar with it. They're relatively inexpensive. You can buy the whole thing as a package. They have an audio converter, an audio editor, disc, and so on. And they have a video editor. And I tried to play with that this week with a fairly long video, and I was having trouble with the audio coming up on it. And so I ended up using Camtasia, which is not a cheap program, to do the editing of what I wanted. When I got it down to a size that I could use and saved it, then I brought that into Video Editor, and I was able to work fine. So I don't know whether there was something in the original downloaded video that I was trying to open up in Video Editor, or was just too long for Video Editor. But the AVS for you, all of these are a package, and the whole package every once in a while is on sale, and it's definitely under $100 for all of those, and so I used them. But again, I had some problems with it, so I did recommend it to somebody this week, and I take it back because I don't recommend it anymore. So that's when I discovered this one, and I'm not sure whether it will work or not. So and how steep the learning curve is for it. But it's something, if you need to do some video editing and it's free, you might want to try it. Did I close this out? No, it's there. Okay, introducing Microsoft 365. So we want that. On April 21st, that's the same date that the Microsoft Editor is coming out. So there's going to be some enhancements to the Office products on the 21st. Office 365 is going to become Microsoft 365 and will include everything you enjoy today and even more. Best of all, the price stays the same for now. They didn't say that, I did. Best of all, the price stays the same for all of these. Your subscription keeps getting better. Smart assistance features. You'll get helpful design and writing suggestions to polish your work in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Let's see what this. Is that going to get clearer? I guess not. Not very clear, is it? Anyway, there's supposed to be lots of help for you. There's going to be some premium templates. There's going to be a OneDrive personal vault. You can add another layer of verification for important files and photos like passport scans and so on in OneDrive. OneDrive PC folder backup. Automatically back up your folders on your Windows PC, keeping your files safe and easy to transfer to another PC. The program Money is now going to be part of Excel, so you can import your financial transactions into Excel so that you can view, organize, and get personalized insights into your finances. That's if you have money. If you're broke, it doesn't matter. Microsoft Editor, write more clearly and accurately across the web, including the most social media sites with your intelligent writing assistant. And again, that really becomes available April 21st. Expanded technical support. Now get ongoing technical support for Windows 10 via chat and phone, plus all the apps included in your subscription. Again, available April 21st. So there'll be some special partner offers. And what do you need to do? Nothing. So that's coming on the 21st. If you're not an Office 365 owner and you use the free Office, and you can use that on any of your devices from the cloud, the editor will become a part of that as well. So you're going to be able to use the Microsoft Editor, even if you're using the free versions of Word and I know Word, I'm not sure about Excel or not. And the final item on my list is how to win at Facebook. I'm not going to go through all of these. I just want to introduce you to this page. And I think I'm just going to go to the page. And it's from Make Use Of, that's the MUO I was trying to think of earlier, Make Use Of. How to Win at Facebook, 50 plus tips and tricks you should know. And each one of them is a link to some kind of a tip. If you use Facebook, there's some really neat things that you can learn in this time when you're stuck in the house and you don't have things to do, go to this page and click on some of them. And as I said, there's 50. Let's load up. Come on. Oh, not now. Some etiquette things. There's how to switch between Facebook profiles on one computer, how to hide friends on Facebook, how to mute people on Facebook, how to unblock someone, how to find out who blocked you, how to watch Facebook Live, how to save videos from Facebook, how best Facebook hacks to show off your geeky skills. Let's look at how to save videos from Facebook. I should open that in a different window, but for pros, it's easy to use. So there's a program they talk about, which I don't recommend. And FB down sometimes works. There's some workarounds as well. Save from. Yeah, this is the M-Basic Facebook is one I've used, and it seems to work. No need to use a third-party app. Process relies on unfamiliar versions of Facebook. But what you do is using M-Basic refers to the trick where you access the mobile version of Facebook on a desktop machine. You type in mbasic.facebook.com into your browser to get started, and you will have the choice of downloading a video that way. Okay, there's a couple of chat items because we're just about ready to wind up. Dick said Amazon's Project Kuiper, that's the name, aims to offer satellite broadband. Yeah, that's Jeff Bezos' version, and then SpaceX is the other one. And then Microsoft 365 seems to have dropped MS Access that was included in MS Office. I don't think the personal and home versions of Office 365 included Access. I think it's only a professional version, Dick. I'm not totally sure on that.
Huey,
Yes.
one thing about Office 365 or Microsoft 365 is, I believe it's 6 people you can share the account with. Not only are the 6 people get all of the resources, but they each get 1 terabyte of online storage. So it's a really good deal for the family version of this because they'll all be able to use it, and they all get 1 terabyte. That's a lot of space of Microsoft storage in OneDrive. So it is a very, very good deal.
Yeah, it is, and I believe it's 5 users.
Or is it 5? I thought it was 6. 5.
but all 5, they don't have to be in the same house.
Nope.
So I could share it with you. I could share it with any person on here, and it's $99 a year, so it's $20 a piece. So it's a heck of a lot cheaper than the hundreds of dollars you had to pay to buy Office, and then it would update every few years, and you'd have to pay for it all over again.
And those of you who have Google Drive, who are paying for your extra Google Drive storage, you don't have to do that. Then this is 1 terabyte you're getting for free, right? It's all included. It's a really good deal.
Bob G says I use Screencast-O-Matic for all my videos that I procuse and edit. I've used it to create videos, but I've never used it to do editing, Bob. I didn't realize that I could do that. How big a file can you use in Screencast-O-Matic, or any size?
The part that allows you to do the editing costs you $18 a year.
It's still that's
cheap as dirt. I've signed up, and I think I have it now through the year 2028 or some stupid thing like that, because I use this extensively, and it is the easiest program I have ever used to do edits.
Yeah, and I have.
And the O's all get cut out. Lots of dead space you can delete automatically. There are so many things that you can do in that program. You can highlight things, you can expand things, you can add things in the middle, you can cut out things, and like I said, there's a myriad of different editing tools, and the more you use it, the more familiar you become. But it is very, very easy to do simple editing because you just highlight and cut, or you pick a spot to add something into it.
It also works on a Chromebook, so it's very
That's right.
good to make
That's right.
to make tutorials on a Chromebook.
Yep.
It's very easy to use.
Yep.
The video
Absolutely.
editor doesn't work on a Chromebook, but the recording does.
You can also do the recording directly online if you don't want to install a program. I have the pro version, and I swear by this program. Anybody wants to know how to make and edit videos and not have to learn the real complicated ones where they separate the sound and the video and all the other stuff, I have not found anything as easy as this. It also, if you have the pro version, has an excellent screen capture in it that allows you to edit it, post it directly on the web, get a direct link to it, not where you have to go to a website to see the link, but an actual link to the actual whatever format you save it in. So it is a program that I can highly recommend. I have used it for quite a few years, and I really wouldn't use anything else.
Okay, Dave Gerber, regarding the Microsoft editor, how can I find out if I have the basic or 365 version? I am a 365 subscriber. Just sign into your account is the best way to find out. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Let me end the recording first. And thank you for joining the CFCS Windows SIG. We're going to open it up here in just a moment, but let me stop